America, cause that boy good. Now tell me what got two tongues and knows how to spit rhymes. Two thumbs up, you gon' point him at this guy. Al Hedison couldn't be this fly, so ask how I feel and you all reply like I feel so awesome. How you feel? Awesome. I guess that's awesome. Shorty, you fine and your body is awesome. Yeah, wanna roll? Awesome. Well, let's go. Awesome. Hands in the...
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Zay, and I'm here to give y'all my first 2025 WNBA Mock Draft. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So with the first pick, the Dallas Wings select Paige Beckers, guard out of UConn. And this is an easy pick, right? Paige is a dynamic 3-level scorer. She's a good passer, a good defender, and she has a super high basketball IQ. And if you pair her with Arike Agumawale, they would instantly become one of the best backcourts in the WNBA. And I know there's some rumors that the Wings might not select her, but y'all, let's not kid ourselves. Paige is a generational player, and she will be the number 1 overall pick in this draft. The second pick, the Seattle Storm select Olivia Miles, guard out of Notre Dame. And I think the Storm need help in their backcourt. They have Skylar Diggins-Smith, but she's going to be 35 in August. And I think at this point in her career, she would be better suited to play off the ball. So you could bring in Olivia Miles, who's the best passer in women's college basketball. She's just that quintessential point guard. And there are two things that I really love about her, y'all. The first thing is her height. She's 5'10", so she's a big point guard and she's able to see over the top of defenses. And the second thing is she is a triple-double threat every time she steps foot on the court. I mean, she is a well-rounded player. She's a really good rebounder and she's a really good defender, so she can just do a lot of things on the court. Her versatility is off the charts, and I think that's what the Seattle Storm really need to try to build their organization back up. So I think this would be a great pick for them. With the third pick, the Washington Mystics select Dominique Malonga, center out of France. And this is a projection pick because if she reaches her ceiling, she has a chance to become one of the best centers in the WNBA because she's 6'6", uber athletic, very explosive, an elite shot blocker, and developing as a three-point shooter. So the talent is there. But the team is going to have to be patient because she is not a finished product. And I think a team like the Mystics, who are clearly in rebuild mode, they can afford to take a player that has a super high ceiling. Might not be a finished product yet, but if she's able to develop her skills, y'all, Dominique Malonga can become that franchise player that the Mystics desperately need. So I think this would be a really good value pick for them. The fourth pick, the Washington Mystics select Sonia Citron, guard out of Notre Dame. And I really like Sonia Citron. She has impressive size and length at the guard position. She's very versatile. She's a great shooter and defender, and she's a low maintenance player. She does not need the ball in her hands to be successful, and she's a team player. She is willing to do whatever it takes to help her team win games, and I think that's the type of player that the Mystics need. They are trying to establish their identity since they have a new coach, and she can definitely help them do that. And she's a two-way player, and in today's game, you cannot have enough two-way players, so I expect her to become a great player in the WNBA. With the fifth pick, the Golden State Valkyries select Kiki Iriafen, forward out of USC. And the Valkyries are an expansion team, so they just need to take the best player available. And I think the best player left is Kiki Iriafen. She has a great post game. She has really improved her mid-range shot. She's a really good defender, and she plays with a lot of energy. So I just think this would be a great fit for them. And y'all, she's from California, so she would get to stay home. So yeah, I like this pick for the Valkyries. The sixth pick, the Washington Mystics select Cheyenne Sellers, guard out of Maryland. And she's a very unique player because she's a guard in a wing's body. She's 6'2", so she's a big guard, and she reminds me a lot of Alyssa Thomas, which is funny because Alyssa Thomas went to Maryland as well. But that's what she reminds me of, y'all, in terms of being that big guard / wing player that can do a little bit of everything on the floor, a good passer, a good defender, a really good rebounder, particularly for her size. And, y'all, she's a good shooter. She's shooting 38% from 3 this year, which is a career high for her. So, yeah, I really like Cheyenne Sellers, and I expect her to become a great player in the WNBA. The seventh pick, the Connecticut Sun selected Nisa Morrow, forward out of LSU. And the Sun are in a rebuild. They traded away Alyssa Thomas. They lost DB and Bree Jones during free agency. So they need talent, and Anissa Morrow is a very talented player. I know she has an old school game, y'all, but we saw what Angel Reese did last year. Angel Reese was a double-double machine, and people questioned if she was going to be able to have success in the WNBA. So I think Anissa Morrow can follow in her footsteps and become a double-double machine herself. She is one of the most tenacious rebounders I've ever seen. Like, she would literally go after every rebound, y'all. It's crazy. And I love the energy and effort that she plays with. So I think for a Connecticut Sun team that is starving for talent, they absolutely cannot pass up on Anissa Morrow. With the 8th pick, the Connecticut Sun select Georgia A. Moore, guard out of Kentucky. And with the 7th pick, we had been selecting their power forward of the future in Anissa Morrow. And now we had been selecting their point guard of the future in Georgia A. Moore. And I like Georgia A. Moore a lot. I know she's small. She's only 5'6", but she plays much bigger than that. She is a big-time competitor, y'all. She's a great passer, and she is a leader. I mean, we saw what she did a couple couple of years ago for Virginia Tech. She led them to the Final Four, and now this year for the Kentucky Wildcats, she led them to 22 wins, having the 4th seed in the NCAA tournament. So she's the type of player that you want to build your franchise around, and I see her becoming one of the best point guards in the WNBA. With the 9th pick, the Los Angeles Sparks select AZ Fudge, guard out of UConn. And I think the Sparks are one player away from being a very competitive team. And that player is a 3-and-D shooting guard, and that is exactly what AZ Fudge is. I think she's the best shooter in women's college basketball. She's shooting 43% from 3 this season. She has such a beautiful jump shot, and she's a tenacious defender, y'all. She will really get in you and challenge you. And I think she would be a great fit alongside Kelsey Plum in this backcourt, because we know Kelsey Plum is a great shooter. She's a great scorer. But they need a player like AZ Fudge that can come in, do the dirty work, knock down open threes, play some really good defense. So I think the Sparks, y'all, they add AZ Fudge, man, the team's going to be dangerous. And I think she'd be a great fit with what they're going to do. With the 10th pick, the Chicago Sky selects Sanaya Rivers, guard out of NC State. And I really like Sanaya Rivers, y'all. I think she's one of the most underrated players in this draft class. She's 6'1" with a 6'5" wingspan, and she is the best perimeter defender in this draft class, and it's not even close. I mean, her anticipation skills defensively are insane. She is constantly playing the passing lanes and also getting chased down blocks, but she can just straight up guard you one-on-one, lock you down. And she is also a good passer, y'all. I think she's somebody that can be like a secondary ball handler at the next level. I know she's not a great shooter, y'all, but when you just look at her physical skills, you look at her athleticism and her defense, you have to come away thinking she has a chance to become an all WNBA type defender in the league. And if the Chicago Sky are able to develop her offensive skills a little bit better, y'all, she's going to become a two-way star in the WNBA. So, yeah, I think this will be an amazing pick for the Chicago Sky. With the 11th pick, the Minnesota Lynx select Ayoka Lee, center out of Kansas State, and the Lynx need size. The reason they lost to the Liberty in the finals is because the Liberty had too much size for them to be able to compete. So they have to get bigger, and Ayoka Lee, she's 6'6". She moves extremely well for her size. She's a dominant post presence, and she's an elite shot blocker. She averages over 2 blocks per game for her career. And this will take a lot of pressure off Nafisa Collier, because right now Nafisa, y'all, is having to guard like a Jonquel Jones and a Asia Wilson and Brianna Stewart. And that's just too much, because we know Fee, she's really a wing player. She cannot be banging down low with those type of players. So if you bring in Ayoka Lee, you slide her into that 5 spot, she can go up against those players, and the Lynx can have a lot of success. So I think this would be a great pick for them. And with the 12th pick, the Dallas Wings select Zaya James, guard out of NC State. And she's a dog, y'all. She's tough as nails. She's a big-time competitor. And she's one of those players that plays with a chip on her shoulder. So many times throughout her collegiate career, people have doubted her, saying that she was too short to be able to have success. And she is proving them wrong every single time, because she is one of the top scorers in women's college basketball. She's also a very dynamic ball handler. And can you imagine a guard rotation of her, Paige, and Enrique, y'all? I mean, you're talking about 3 players that not only are dynamic scorers, but they're also very tough, very aggressive players. And I think she would be a great fit for what the Wings are doing. So there y'all have it, man. This was my first 2025 WNBA mock draft. I probably will do a 2-round mock draft here in a few weeks. But for my first one, I just wanted to do a 1-round mock draft. Remember, y'all, lab's a good message. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.